So over the break, I decided to learn digital embroidery to go with the new machine I got from my family. It's a lot like 3D printing in that you can't just say, "Computer, make this art into a patch for me." I mean, you kind of can, but it'll be a very bad patch both from a structural standpoint and an art standpoint. Imagine asking AI for its opinions on what art makes art good. You wouldn't necessarily get something like terrible, but it would certainly be interesting. It wouldn't be necessarily what you wanted. This one's about my 8th patch, but I'm really happy with my progress. You start by uploading a picture, like this one of the donkey that I drew, and then you have to redraw the picture from scratch using a bezeling tool, which I don't actually have a picture of, but I've kind of drawn out what it looks like. It allows you to convert your lines into a series of math formulas that can now be set to any scale without losing quality, because it's not exactly a picture anymore. It's a projected math, and it just sort of looks like a picture. After that, you add your color values and your texture effects. I start the physical printing process with a thick layer of felt over 2 sheets of water-soluble starch paper. The starch paper is really cool. You just put it in hot water and it melts. The printing process I've captured a simulation of, and it's my favorite part here. The blue line you see first is the outline I programmed it to start with, and when it's finished with this nice blue contrast, I'm going to go ahead and stop the machine and cut the felt, but I have to make sure not to cut the starch along the blue line, and that way you get a nice freestanding patch that's got some structure and some weight to it. If you accidentally cut the starch, you're going to pretty much have to start from scratch at this point because there's not going to be any way to recalibrate the machine to pick up where you've left off. After that, the machine is going to print things for a while. This patch is going to take 90 minutes to print, but the simulation, it's kind of cool. My machine, my computer, that is, thinks there's a little sewing machine in my computer, and it has sent this file over to the digital sewing machine to show me how it's going to go, what order the colors are going to go in, if there are going to be any weird errors, if it's not going to be able to read something. It also just shows me what it's going to look like. You can see each of the colors has been converted into different shapes, and then those shapes have then been converted further into lines. There's going to be about 26,000 stitches in this print and several hundred meters of string it's going to go through. It's using 3 different textures. The texture we've seen so far has all been the same on the donkey, but I've changed the angle so that the light will reflect differently at it. The donkey is at 0 degrees, the sweater is at 90 degrees, and the hat is at roughly 38 degrees. And that's just going to change how the light reflects off of it and add a little bit of a dynamic feeling to it. I just think it's neat. Then we've got the pink for the ears. The hair is a contour texture, and that's fun because when it comes out, it's going to look actually kind of hair-like. The last texture you're going to see is later on when it fills in the moon, and that is a circle texture, and that is just going to make things feel really round. I think that one's rather satisfying. The moon I'm really happy with. It's made out of a glow-in-the-dark thread, so when this is all finished, the moon is going to glow in the dark in a really pretty color. You may notice here with a lot of the browns that we're getting some weird lines that jump across the donkey, and those are trim lines. I'm going to have to stop the machine at those points and trim those so that they don't get caught up in the design. There are probably more talented designers with fancier gear who don't have those in their designs, but it's actually really common at my level to have those and to just take breaks every once in a while and clean up things as they print. Maybe someday I'm going to be super good and have the fanciest gear and the most expensive programs, but right now I am running this off of a freeware Linux, which is made by a bunch of software pirate mega nerds who make this stuff for fun, and that is the perfect place for me to be starting, is without spending a lot of extra money on things. I'm gonna go ahead and let the donkey finish up without talking. You guys can fast forward if you want, or can leave. You didn't have to come here in the first place. But I always just like watching it because I find it very satisfying. Thanks for checking out my video. I hope this was as cool for you as it was for me. It's going to do the outline here of the moon in a second, and then it's going to finish up. The outline on the donkey ranges between 0.8 and 1 millimeter, and the outline of the moon is about 3 millimeters, because you want that outside to be nice and structurally strong. I'll go ahead and post what it looks like both in the light and in the dark in the comments, and hopefully you guys thought this was cool. If you want a patch, feel free to message me, and maybe we can work something out. Have a great day.